sant yàlla.
looy xaar utal Wave nga scan nga fay te nag doo ci yokku dara.
Jar Oil, the company, have filling stations across the country, and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Jar Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market.
In the Gambia, we all move to different paces. Time is money, convenience is power, and now both are in your hands. No more long lines, no more late payments, no more missed chances. Not anymore. Because now the Gambia has its own super app, Zap. One app, one tap, endless convenience. Send money instantly, pay your bills in seconds, shop without borders, pay your rides, order your meal, buy your ticket, deposit and withdraw money for absolutely free. No extra charges, no hidden fees, only on Zap Super App. This is not just convenience. This is confidence. This is the future in your hands. And the best part, Zap is born right here. Built for us, designed for every Gambian home, every Gambian dream. So don't wait in the past. Step into the future. Download Zap today on App Store and Play Store and enjoy endless free services. Call us today on our toll-free number 1666 or on 260-0001. Zap, all in one, all for you. Tap in, zap in.
It's Friday, the 6th of February, 2026, and you're with Coffee Time with Peter Gomez, live on West Coast Radio, 92.1 on FM across the country. Globally, you'll find us at www.wcr.gm. Now, in 1981, the Gambia and Senegal entered into a bold experiment, the Senegambia Confederation. Born out of crisis, its chief objective was to safeguard the Gambia's security in the wake of an attempted coup, while promoting deeper integration between the two nations. For a time, the Union promised shared defense, coordinated foreign policy, and steps toward economic cooperation. Yet despite its ambitions, the Confederation unraveled within a few short years. Undone by political tensions, questions of sovereignty, and the difficulty of merging into distinct national identities. We started exploring the failings of the Confederation last week with Ambassador Ibrahim Usman Ndure. He's back this week to continue the conversation. Alajibu, thank you once again for joining us this morning.
Thank you so very much, Peter. Thank you for having me again. I always look forward to being with you.
That's good to hear.
And I had a delicious coffee this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you for that.
All right.
Thank you so very much. Lest I forget,
yes,
there's something I would like to share with our distinguished listeners.
Yes.
My grandkids would tell me, Grandpa is not listeners, it's listeners.
Right.
I say, I'm not British.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
I say we should deliberately speak the language with an accent.
Exactly.
So that people don't mistake us for being British or whatever.
Exactly.
Yet, we have a solid, grounding in the language. Good command of the language.
Exactly. Thank you so much. It's an expression that is so often pronounced by all and sundry, and at times by high-profile dignitaries. It's the expression, and all other protocols duly and respectfully observed. This is poor English.
Oh.
Google it, go online, and just Google and all other protocols observed. It's poor English. Protocols are specific. You cannot generalize protocol.
Okay.
You cannot have in an event or in a ceremony an audience composed of diplomats, military officers, distinguished civilians, and apply or stand on all other the same protocols. Protocols differ. Protocols are specific. So this is something that I always make sure I share with participants during my trainings. So this is something I would like to share with the distinguished listeners. At times it is pronounced by highly profile dignitaries, and it's poor English. It's not the Queen's English. Oh, sorry, now we have His Majesty the King. It's not the King's English. You know, it's something that must have been invented either in West Africa, South Africa, or Eastern Africa. You know, so please, distinguished listeners, let's bear this in mind. Thank you so very much.
Particularly masters of ceremony or mistresses of ceremony.
Exactly, and journalists. I don't have anything against journalists. Thank you so very much, Peter. Today, what I would like us to discuss about, because we cannot talk about the Senegambia Confederation without talking about the Senegalo-Gambian Secretariat.
Okay.
We cannot also be silent and find out and ask ourselves this question: were there any agreements signed during the Second Republic? Remember, in my last appearance, we spoke briefly the agreements that were signed whilst I was Senegambian High Commissioner to Senegal.
Yes.
We cannot also ignore to talk about the legacy and relevance of the Senegambia Permanent Secretariat currently.
All right.
In 1965, by the Treaty of Association, few months before the Gambia became independent, the Treaty of Association was signed between President Leopold Sedar Senghor, who was Senegal's first president, and Sir Dawda Kairaba Jawara, who was then Prime Minister. There were 8 agreements that were signed then.
Yes.
We'll go into that later on. And the first Senegal, the historical, we have to differentiate. People may be of the belief that the present Senegalo-Gambian Permanent Secretariat, had existed since. But, I mean, we have to create an awareness and make people know that the historical Senegalo-Gambian Permanent Secretariat is different or differs from the present Senegalo-Gambian Permanent Secretariat.
Oh, okay.
Yes. The historical Senegalo-Gambian Permanent Secretariat, as I said, was established from, I think, June 1965.
Shortly after our independence.
Yes, sorry, let me get it right.
Okay.
I don't want to make mistakes.
Okay, we are with Ambassador Ibrahima Usman Ndure, whose last posting was as the Gambia's High Commissioner in Dakar, Senegal. And we're talking about, of course, the Senegambia Confederation, an experiment that ran, was it from 1981 till 1989?
Yes, yes.
And he's about to let us know that before this current Senegalo-Gambian Permanent Secretariat, there was a forerunner, and they are not to be mistaken.
Yes.
The first one being signed shortly after our independence in 1965, you said.
Thank you for your patience. The historical Senegalo-Gambian Permanent Secretariat was established in 1965, and it ended in 1988.
Oh.
Yes. This was a different, now defunct organization created by a 1965 Treaty of Association signed by President Leopold Sedar Senghor and then Prime Minister Sir Dawda Kairaba Jawara. The first executive secretary at the time was Mr. Margaret Lowe. I am still finding out, and I'll find out from a veteran diplomat, Ambassador, His Excellency Ambassador Ibrahim Omane, who was the Gambian deputy executive secretary.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to make mistakes, but it could have been Ambassador Ibu Momartal, but I have to check on that.
Sure, yeah.
I have to.
I wish I had known. I would have called him before we, came on air to find out from him, because we were together at a funeral just 2 days ago.
Okay, it was dissolved in 1988 following the establishment of the Senegambia Confederation.
Okay.
What is interesting about diplomacy is diplomacy bugut yakamti.
Okay.
There is no hurry thing. We had the Confederation it was established in November 1981, and the Code Declaration was signed then, and then it continued. The then historical Senegalo-Gambian Permanent Secretariat continued until 1988. Okay, so we had let's say about six years before it was dissolved. So it's important that we know that the historical Senegalo-Gambian Permanent Secretariat differs from the present
one.
Present one.
Okay.
Yeah. How many agreements were signed then? There's a number or figure that keeps coming. It's either 8 or 7.
Oh.
8 agreements were signed in 1965 by the then first president. 8 agreements, 1965, and then we had, and also there are 8 evolutions that existed in the relationship between the Gambia and Senegal. So let's take note of these two numbers,
Okay.
8 and 7.
8 and 7.
8 and 7. It's either 8 or it's 7. And
either agreements or evolutions.
Evolutions.
Okay.
Okay. We had initially 8 agreements signed based on the Treaty of Association, and then we had the Senegambia Confederation lasted for 7 years. 7 comes again. We had 7 protocols that were signed at the advent of the Senegambia Confederation. 7 comes again.
Yes.
And then we had the 8 agreements established by the Treaty of Association. We had the Senegambian Secretariat, Senegalo-Gambian Permanent Secretariat, and then we had the failed coup d'etat by Kukwai Samba Sanyang, and then there's 3 evolutions, and then we had the Senegambian Confederation.
Confederation, yes.
And then came the after the Confederation, and then we continued, and then we had everything continued until when we had the 1994 military takeover.
Before that, we had the new Senegalo-Gambia Permanent Secretariat.
Yes,
okay.
Yeah, and then in fact, I was one of those who was privileged to have the Senegalo-Gambian Permanent Secretariat scholarship to study French at the University of Dakar.
You were one of the first beneficiaries.
One of the first. And also in the passings of Sheikh Toure, he's late now. Sabel Bajan, she's also late.
I worked with her at Radio Gambia.
Okay. Yeah. And Ibu Comrade Silla.
Okay.
These are the few I can remember.
Okay.
And then we also had the Second Republic. There were virtually no agreements signed during the Second Republic for obvious reasons.
Yeah. There were more tensions than moves
certainly,
towards signing
closure of borders and so on. So
yes.
there was no way, or there were no ways for an agreement to sign. So there was sort of a Cold War between the Gambia and Senegal at the level of the two governments, really. So
that's important to stress. Only at the level of the two governments. But the people continued business as usual.
Life continued as usual. So what is the legacy and relevance today? The Senegambia Confederation is remembered as an ambitious but flawed experiment. Its failure demonstrated the challenges of integrating two states with different colonial legacies. French versus British. Different legal systems, economies, and scales. However, it left a lasting framework for cooperation. The Senegambia Bridge was finally completed in 2019, physically linking the two countries and institutions like the Senegambia Secretariat, which continues to foster collaboration on transportation and communication. The bridge is within Gambian soil. There was a time Senegalese thought that the bridge was built by Senegal. It was during President Macky Sall's tenure. I was there. I was Gambian High Commission to Senegal. He said it, and he told Senegalese at the opening that the bridge is in the Gambian soil, on Gambian soil, founded by Gambia and its international partners, particularly the African Development Bank and probably the World Bank. He made it very clear. But people at the grassroots who didn't know the nitty-gritty, and they thought that probably the bridge was built by Senegal.
Your account is interesting.
Yes.
Because what you heard was Macky Sall came, opened a bridge that many thought was going to be called the Transgambia Bridge. All right? Many would tell you even the plaque that was unveiled actually said Transgambia. All right?
Oh, really?
But the decision was that the president gave him the honor, all right, and said, midway through his speech that he was going to rename it the Senegambia Bridge. So Macky Sall left here, went to Senegal. I mean, these are accounts you hear. I'm not saying this is the official version. And told Senegalese that he promised them, to construct the Transgambia crossing, turn it into a bridge, and he has given them a bridge. So a lot of people, would say it was Macky Sall who misled Senegalese into believing that it was the government of Senegal under his stewardship that built the Transgambia Bridge, what was supposed to have been called officially Transgambia, but suddenly became the Senegambia Bridge.
I don't think President Adama Barrow gave the honor to name the bridge Senegambia, because Macky Sall's name is not Senegambia. I think this is my personal belief. I think President Adama Barrow did it in cognizance of the fact that the Senegal and the Gambia are one and the same. The word Senegambia has always existed for thousands of years. So before the Berlin Conference of 1848, the two countries never existed separately. It was just known as Senegambia. But in my opinion, President Barrow did that in cognizance of the fact that we are one and the same. Some names were even advanced to say, okay, we should name it after our historical heroes and so on. But I think it's still a good thing. This brings the two people further together, and there was a big fanfare. You had people coming all over, all cultural groups. People I have grown with in Ziguinchor came with kankurangs and kumpos and name it, and that added to the beauty, to the color of the ceremony.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but politics. It happened. The bridge. President Leopold Sedar Senghor would have loved the bridge to be there during his time.
Absolutely.
President Abdou Diouf would have loved the bridge to be there during his tenure. President Abdoulaye Wade likewise. But it so happened, as we say in Wolof, tombe mo isi ay gaf.
Absolutely.
So it happened during the time of President Macky Sall. Wursagamla, you know, Wursagamla.
Maybe Yaya Jammeh would not have loved the bridge to be there, but I'm sure Sadauda Kairaba Jawara would have loved the bridge to be there during his time.
Exactly. Yeah. So it happened during the time of President Adamo Barrow. It happened during the time of President Macky Sall. And that, I think, brought the two peoples further together. And it also creates a direct linkage from northern Senegal to southern Senegal.
Absolutely. You mentioned the flaws in the establishment of this Senegambia Confederation experiment. What are some of these flaws, and how did they come about? How did they begin in the first place? We wanted to have a common currency, didn't we?
We wanted that. We wanted to have the same customs union.
Yes.
Also, I think this was based towards an integration.
Yeah.
It's not a crime to integrate, but fancy. During President Senghor's time, as I said, we had 8 agreements. And then later on, we had 7 protocols. Okay? And then 7 protocols. During the Confederation, we had 7 protocols. Now, we have 18, you remember I mentioned 18 agreements since 2017 to 2020. Within 3 years, 18 agreements were signed. More agreements than had been signed from the time of President Senghor and President Sadauda Kairaba Jawara
through to Jammeh and
Jammeh. Yeah, within this short period. And everything is working fine so far. And we just need to make sure that all these agreements that we are signed are followed upon. Let them not gather dust. Let them see, particularly when we talk about transportation and the economy and trade. In my opinion, during the Confederation, the Gambia was more or less interested in its security. And Senegal was more or less interested in trade.
Yes.
Yes. So, but let's say both countries can benefit from the security, because when the Gambia sneezes, Senegal coughs. When Senegal coughs, the Gambia sneezes. So there cannot be insecurity in the Gambia, and that will not affect Senegal likewise. So let both countries benefit from the security, and let both countries also benefit from the trade. There was a British statesman who said, I just want to remember his name. There are no permanent friends, no enemies, but permanent interests.
Yeah, the politicians quote that a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we say it in Wolof, suma bopa malen genal, du bagnala. You know, every country protects its own interests. I'm fond of saying in my training that foreign policies shouldn't be one size fits all. And it would be the ideal is, and what I would like to propose to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, International Cooperation and Governments Abroad, is that the foreign policy between the Gambia and Senegal should differ or should be different from all other foreign policies.
Okay.
Yes.
And why?
Why? We have a privileged and special relationship. We should have a special foreign policy between the Gambia and Senegal. We should have a different foreign policy between the Gambia and ECOWAS member states. We should have a different foreign policy between the Gambia and African Union member states. we should have a different foreign policy with the European Union, etc., etc. It shouldn't be one size fits all.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm sure he's listening. We have about 8 minutes. Would you like to say something in Wolof just before we? Because given that the lingua franca, we would have loved it to be English.
Yeah. Sumay mbokk maa ngi leen a nuyu di leen wax Juma Mubarak di leen wax ne ci last week ci fan yi fi jógee waxoon ne ñu ngi tàmbale woon waxtaan ci suñu diggante ak Sénégal li jaraloon Senegambian Confederation bi lana ko taxawal lana ko tas lana ko yaaxa ak léegi fan lañ toolu suñu diggante ak Sénégal doomi ndey lañ doomi baay lañ doomi nijaay lañ ak doomi baajen dara mënuñoo taagaale ca kaw ca kanam so dañu war a gën a rataxal diggante bi am na yu bari yu fi xew ci ñaari réew yi waaye loolu ci kaw rek la em ci diggante ñaari nguur yi waaye emut ci nit ñaa ngee demalante ba tey ñoo bokk suñuy maam ñoo bokk suñuy tur yi suñuy santa suñuy añ yi suñu religion yi su gaamoo jotee fii ñëppay ñu bare jógee Gambia dem dafa mel ni dara kenn dëkku fi ñëppay dem su poppa ngeen jotee loolu mooy xew benn religion bi la benn yàlla bi la ñoo jaamu soo ñu gën a rataxal diggante bi di rafetal ci lu nekk parce que kenn du dee taana ban famille nga juddoo kenn du taana kan mooy nekk sa ndey o sa baay kan mooy nekk ñi nga bokkal dëkkandoor sax doo ko taana yëpp yàlla moo ko sas soo ñu bàyyi wante xel rek seet ne xam ne ñun ñëpp benn lañ bu ña laamiñ nag moo dëkka waaye matante bi warut a garaaw warut a ñaaw lu nekk dafa war a rafet so man daal loolu laa leen a ñaan ñu gën a jàppante loo xam ne dafa yóbbu suñ diggante mu dem ci kanam ñu yokk ko
waaw te saako bi li ko waral mooy yaa ngi waxtaanee mbiri Gambie ak Sénégal parce que 1981 boobaa léegi di ñeent fukki at ak juróom ca gannaaw fexe woon nañ nuñ defee ñaari réew yi doon benn waaye nag mu am ay gàllankoor yu ci bokkoon nga ne gàllankoor yooyu nag li ko waraloon mooy ñi féetee kaw diggante ñun nit ñi ba tey rek nañ daan doxalee rek noonu lañ continuer di doxal
ba tey
waaw ñu bëggoon rek nga seppi benn ñaar ci gàllankoor yi nga xam ne moo waraloon Senegambia Confederation bi taxawut nañ ko séentoo woon nañ ko njortee
problème bi ñëw na foog naa li ko génnoon na aussi mooy affaire sécurité affaire kaaraange suñ eggee ci wax affaire yi wax nañ affaire Confederation bi waaye lu ngeen baal ma ci wax ci kaddu gi lu ñàkk a fayda moo ko yaaxa lu ñàkk a fayda
lu ñàkk a fayda kay dafa ñàkk a fayda
lu ñàkk a fayda loo xam ne wax ju sew mënoon nañ koo toog seetaat rek seet fañ jógee waaw
ban wax ju ñàkk a fayda la woon yéen a fa ne woon de ñun dañ nekkoon ci biti rek di dégga
waaw waaye xam nga nettali xuloo la nañ bàyyi fi mu nekk
nettali xuloo door xuloo bu ees la
waaw dañ ko bàyyi li xew na rek nañ fekka nañ continuer rek gën a jàppante
waaw waaye luy njëriñ yi am lu mel ni Confederation wax nga ne ñun suñ diggante ñun ñaari nit yi ñaari réew yi jaama rek a dox suñu diggante yow soo fi jóge woon doon dem Sénégal jaama nga fekk Sénégal jaama nga faa bàyyi wëññeeku si fekk jaama ji nga bàyyoon Gambie fii xam nga wéy ci Sénégalais bi ñëwoon fii tamit the same thing
Peter gis nga Sénégal dama fa am ñeneenti jaar macha allah first jaar bi mooy dama fa bari ay mbokk comme ñu bari Gambie yu bari am nañ mbokk Sénégal yu bari
man mii kenn la
waaw benn jaar mu ngi fa beneen jaar ji moom dama fa jàngee 1975 ba 1977 ma ñëwaat fa after bi Second Republic bi ñëwee ma dem liggéey fa di liggéeyal United Nations Sénégal laa njëkkee dégg nga ba pare ñu post ma fa ma liggéey fa ma liggéey fa as second secretary dégg nga ba pare ma ñëwaat nekk fa macha allah natural sequence ma nekk fa high commissioner so with all humility man li ma mun a lijjante Sénégal sax mënuma koo lijjante Gambie bi ma dëkka
déet waay
waaw parce que loolu xam nga lan la jaama gi
kay
ñi nga xam ne sumay mbokka ñoo fa nekka ñoo xam ne maa ñoo ma jàngandoor ñi nga xam ne suma collègues la ñoom ñoo fa nekka te loolu yëpp laa la ma ko may wax ju neex rek
kay
ñu respect ma respect leen su ma tukki jaar la fii bu ma duggee Kaarang xam nañ ne maa ngay ñëw suma kayit yi la dafa correct dégg nga duñ ma géteen te Sénégal yi ñi nga xam ne tam ay kilifa la jógee Sénégal ñu fi la suñu egsi fii ona boobu lañ leen a jox benn tey ban dëkka nga dem nga nekk fa ambassadeur tubaab ci dëkki tubaab bi nga am mbokka ci dëkka biñ la xam ne dañ la fa def nga nekk ak ret nga nekk ambassadeur loolu diggante Gambie ak Sénégal rek la
jafe na waa ñu bari tam dañ dee ne Sénégal munta am jaama su Gambie amut jaama ñu bari ne déedéet Gambie mun na ñaaka am jaama te du gétteen Sénégal ci benn fànn yoo loo wax ci
non pita boobu nanguma ko non Gambia lu xew Gambia lu metti Gambia metti na Sénégal lu metti Sénégal metti na Gambia
lu waral loolu mbokka gi la ndax la
mbokka gis nga xam nga yàlla suy jagar dafa mel ni dafa yaaxa seetal rek ni sequence of events li xew diggante 1965 ba léegi agreement moo amoon diggante Sir Dawda ak
Léopold Sédar
Senghor ñu jógee ci loolu dem protocole dégg nga Confederation bi tas Sénégal Gambian Permanent Secretariat mu ngi fi woon historical one bi boobu jeex ñu isiwaat beneen tey jaamaa ngee continuer te fi mu nekk la jaama bi gën a ratax diggante Gambie ak Sénégal soo suñ jógee fii dafaa gën a dem ci kaw rek dëkki tubaab bi ñu ngee xeex pour nekk benn
dëgg la
soo ñu ne démba dafa am fu ma dem di photocopie lii mu am ku ma wax ne xam naa daf doon riit ci réel li ma copie mu ne waaw Gambia ak Sénégal saa yu jotee rek Gambia Sénégal dañ ñoo tuutiloo ma ne ko bul xelaatee noonu
waaw xam nga loolooy gis-gis yi naka tudda Gambien si
waaye déedéet waaye xam nga doo nekk always on the defensive bul jiital loolu yow dara xewagut sax ma ne ko déedéet bul wax loolu ma ne ko man maay woon di Gambian High Commissioner to Sénégal mu ne ma yee ma ne ko waaw mu bu si affaire yi coup d'état bi military takeover bi mu ne ma ba Sir Dawda demee Sénégal ma ne ko man I was Sir Dawda's chief of protocol mu gën maa xuli mu ne ma yaa ngi fa woon ma ne ko waaw man maa ngi fa woon man maa ko yóbbu Dakar understand soo gis nga nit ñi suñ amee mooy ñaaw njorta ñaaw njorta baaxut même su fekkee ne loolu xew na nañ toog ñu waxtaan bu ñu laamee ñoo dëkka ñu seet naka lañ bu nga am sa njaboot rek suñ jotee doo am xaaj doo def xaajaale danga leen a toog nga waxal leen soo ñu toog rek ñu seet ñu seet naka la ñoo juboo waxtaan naka la juboo amut ñaaka waxtaan
réeroo amut ñaaka déggoo waxtaan waaye laal nga fi loo xam ne su ma sañoon ma sas la ne soo fi delsee beneen bés bu ay fa la ñoo waxtaanee parce que loolu mooy sa yooyu yaa yóbbu Sir Dawda Dakar maanaam bi coup bi xewee yow bokka nga ci ñi bokkoon gaal ak Sir Dawda xam nga ñu ngi waxtaanee mbir yi 1994 ak Sam nga ne moom mbiri military aspect bi parce que ba ñëw mbiri Senegambia Confederation bi nga ñëw ba ci military protocol bi nga ne boobu doo ci mën a xuus waaw parce que Sam moom dina mu ngi doon déglu programme bi sax rafetlu na loolu noonu ne yaa ngi ko jox li nga xam ne moom maaxaamaam ci loolu la waaye Sam eggutoon ci gaal bi yóbbu woon Sir Dawda yow yaa nekkoon ci gaal gi ak Sir Dawda bëgg nañ ñu waxtaanee loolu noonu Friday bi ñëw su neexee yàlla Alaaji Ibo suñ kotoo suñ mag jërëjëf ñu ngi rafetlu teewaay bi ati
fépp lay fay.
sant yàlla.
looy xaar utal Wave nga scan nga fay te nag doo ci yokku dara.
Jar Oil, the company, have filling stations across the country, and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Jar Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market.
In the Gambia, we all move to different paces. Time is money, convenience is power, and now both are in your hands. No more long lines, no more late payments, no more missed chances, not anymore. Because now the Gambia has its own super app, Zap. One app, one tap, endless convenience. Send money instantly, pay your bills in seconds, shop without borders, pay your rides, order your meal, buy your ticket, deposit and withdraw money for absolutely free. No extra charges, no hidden fees, only on Zap Super App. This is not just convenience. This is confidence. This is the future in your hands. And the best part, Zap is born right here. Built for us, designed for every Gambian home, every Gambian dream. So don't wait in the past. Step into the future. Download Zap today on App Store and Play Store and enjoy endless free services. Call us today on our toll-free number 1666 or on 260-0001. Zap. All in one. All for you. Tap in. Zap in.